Official prediction, Petr Yan versus Dvalishvili. Oh, it's hard. Oh, you know I don't bury the lead, guys. All right, Dvalishvili. I'm taking Merab. Merab, and there is a but with Merab, because Merab is very good. Merab is very skilled. Merab is very disciplined. Merab is very gritty. None of those things are the spotlight. Nowhere in Petr Yan's camp has he thought about any of those things. Nowhere in his camp is he thinking, I got to stop his double. I got to stop him from pushing me into the fence. I got to scramble up off the bottom. The thing that you look at when you're dealing with him is he goes so damn hard. That is the thing. If you were taking him off, if you're Jose Aldo in his last fight, if you're studying Merab and what you got to be ready for and what you got to deal with, it is a guy who is in shape, and he is going to be coming at you hard. Harder than anyone you've ever faced is going to come at you. Harder than anyone you've ever had in the practice room. Merab is going to bring a pace and an output like nobody else has. Now, Merab does like to push to the fence. Merab does like to take you down. Merab basically just fought Petr Yan. He did, in deferment Jose Aldo. Well, before you tell me that Petr Yan is better standing up, it doesn't matter. Merab didn't stand up with Jose Aldo. So it doesn't matter if Yan's better at standing up. Merab thought Jose's was more than he could deal with. So if Yan is better, then Yan's going to have the same opinion, which only means he's going to do the same thing, which is push him into the fence, try to get below his waist, try to pick him up, and try to bring him down to the canvas. And you want to know who's hard to take down? Jose Aldo. You want to know who else is hard to take down? Petr Yan. I'm telling you guys, it's the same fight. It's the same fight. And where these two athletes got dealt from the bottom of the deck, and some of these Apex cards do, man. The Apex has been putting it, they got some main events going down over there. They had Stipe versus Daniel Cormier went down at the Apex in front of nobody. I mean, the main events that are having to walk it, like, this is becoming the place to fight. People get assigned to Madison Square Garden, and oh my gosh, they're so happy. There's places in Dallas. There's certain venues, right? The Forum in LA. There's places that you can get assigned. The Roseland in Portland. There's places you can get assigned where it's cool, but the Apex is becoming that. I fought at the MGM Grand one time. I'm trying to think of who I fought there. Fought at the MGM Grand, but when we were going in, there's a hallway. There's a hallway of other people who have fought at the MGM Grand. I mean, they're hopping all these on the wall. Multiple Mike Tyson fight pictures are on the wall. You know, it's becoming like a place. And I'm only suggesting for you because the Apex is getting really hard. This is a really hard fight. Where I say they got belt from the bottom of the deck, these guys should not have to fight for 5 rounds. This is a totally different fight, fighting for 5 rounds. I have never seen Petr Yan fade. Never. In fact, I see him do better as the fight goes on. I'll remind you, he lost the first 2 rounds of the Sterling fight. He won the last 2 rounds of the Sterling fight. Petr Yan is a pace guy. I don't think he's got Merab's pace. He doesn't have Merab's pace. Let me reword that. He doesn't have his pace. But if he doesn't have his pace, can he hold up against his pace? Because that is the more important of the 2 questions. I've never seen Yan fade. Never seen him anybody goes as hard as Dvalishvili. And Merab, as good as he is, and I believe he is ranked, I believe that he was believed to be a #1 contender. All of a sudden, Sugar Sean slid in. So I know how that ranking goes. I know that ranking goes because it goes to Sean. I'm just sharing for you. For a #1 guy, for a #1 contender, for a guy who would be fighting for championships, who they teed up to fight for a championship, but he doesn't like that specific matchup because it's his friend. He's gone 5 rounds a surprisingly few amount of times. Off the top of my head, I never saw him go 5 rounds, but I believe he was booked. I believe he was booked for 5 and just got out of there early. I'd have to go check that stat. And it's like anybody, if you go really hard, you're going to get really tired if the match is really long. So as much as I'm bragging to you guys about Merab and his pace and his grittiness and what a pain in the ass he is because he's coming at you like a Tasmanian devil, as much as I'm complaining to you about that, I'm not positive he can hold it for 5 rounds. I can't think of anybody that I've seen him hold it for 5 rounds. And I don't think Merab's taking on anybody in as good a shape as Petr Yan. So you have a very interesting fight. I am betting that Merab can hold up. I am taking Merab in the fight. I believe that his endurance and that conditioning will, in fact, hold up for championship rounds. I'm just admitting to you guys that I don't know it. Very confident in telling you guys Merab is going to win the first 2 rounds. But if you're confident that Petr Yan's going to win the last 2 rounds, now we're just arguing over number 3. And we got a pretty interesting conversation, don't we? This fight just happened. It just happened. Merab versus Jose. It's the exact same thing, according to Merab. I got a striker that's got more than I want to offer. So now it doesn't matter who's better. As soon as we're getting out of that realm, we're getting out of that realm. Which means I got to take him down. To take him down, I like to push him into the fence. Once I push him in the fence, I like to go below the waist. So I'm going to go and do these things and hope that he's not prepared to stop it. That's what this fight is on Saturday.